to the Crafty Gemini. I post weekly videos right here on my YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to make an adjustable shoulder strap for your handbags, and I'll tell you a little more about my Video Bag of the Month Club. So first I want to give a big thanks to everyone who left me a comment or sent me an email based on the last video where I was telling you a little bit about my Video Bag of the Month Club. If you missed that video, we gave you a little sneak peek here of my Stacy purse, and this is going to be the first bag in the Video Bag of the Month Club. You basically get 5 different bag designs with the PDF instructions, the printable templates or the pattern pieces that you need to complete it, and then also the high definition step-by-step video lessons that are taught by me. Every single month you'll get access to all that information from one bag. So one bag every month. The first bag is going to be the Stacy purse, and this one features a recessed zipper as the main closure of the bag. And that's what I taught you how to do in that last video. If you missed it, I'll go ahead and include a link for you below where you can catch that video. But thank you to everybody who watched, who sent me a comment, and I see that a lot of you are getting excited for my Bag of the Month Club. So I think you'll be happy to know that in this video I'm going to tell you a little more about the club and share with you another tutorial that will come in handy when you're needing to make adjustable shoulder straps for your different handbag projects. Now I know some of you are looking at my Kelly crossbody bag and thinking there's no way that I can make that because it looks so fancy, right? It looks super functional and it has a ton of pockets. I feel like a lot of my students tend to freak out when they see that it's a bag that has more than one pocket because this zippered pocket is kind of built into this one here, but I'm going to walk you through step by step on how to do this in the club, remember, with my high definition video lessons. Now, I've been teaching here on YouTube for about 7 years, and I've been teaching in person for about 9. I am a pro already, I think, at breaking things down from complex or difficult levels to very basic and simple level, so just about anybody can understand it and complete it. That is like my main thing. There's nothing more rewarding than seeing a student who had absolutely no idea they'd be able to make something, when that look in their face when they look at the completed project and they're just about freaking out thinking, I can't believe I made this with my own 2 hands. That to me is the best feeling ever, and I think that a lot of you out there are going to be having that feeling too as you join my Bag of the Month Club and you start to create these projects, again with the help of my step-by-step video lessons. Now let's move on to the tutorial where I am going to show you how to create your own adjustable shoulder strap. So in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to make a crossbody strap, which I find super handy for a ton of different bags because the bag itself can be any shape or a variety of different patterns that you can get out there. But this is the Kelly crossbody bag, and this is one of my bags in my Bag of the Month Club. So I'll just walk you through it. It's a nice little size, okay? It has a pocket in the back here. It also has a pocket here. That's just a slip-in one. Then you have a zippered pocket on the front as well. Then the top part here is a zipper closure, as you can see. And that's what is the main opening for the bag. And then in here for the interior pocket, we just have a large panel that we've split into one big pocket and into a smaller one, all right? So all this bag needs now is the shoulder strap or crossbody strap, whatever you want to use it with. Now, if you have a pattern similar to mine here that calls for a strap that you're going to be making, you basically make the entire bag. You have the hardware installed, and now we need a strap right here. So I like to start off with a 4-inch wide strip of fabric, and that's if I'm using 1-inch wide rings. All right, so these are D-rings, and these are 1-inch wide. That means that the strap is going to fit nicely through there. And so I start off with a 4-inch wide strip because after I fold it and fold it again, your finished strip will be 1-inch wide. Now here's another one, and this is a different idea. This is another shoulder strap I made for a different bag, but you can see how it's kind of scrappy. You can piece your strips together and add a little pop of color or of a fun print like I did in this one, okay? Now for the length of the fabric that you want, it depends, right? If you want the bag to just be a shoulder bag, you're not going to need that much fabric. If you want it to be a complete crossbody bag and you're kind of tall, then you do want to go with a longer strip. I'm about 5'8" tall, and I like my crossbody bags to land like right on my hip. So I find that a good dimension or a good measurement to start with for my strip is 58 inches in length. You can always adjust that up or down for whatever you want. That's the one that I'm going to do for this project here. So as you can see, this strip is not quite 58, and the width of the fabric is only going to give you about 40 to 45 inches in width. So obviously you're going to have to piece it or cut it along the lengthwise grain, which I don't like to do. So we're just going to piece these strips together. For now, I'm going to press this fabric. And now we'll piece these together. Now here's a trick. If you're going to be piecing fabric together, to create a more continuous strip of fabric, then you don't want to piece them like this and bump them up, okay? And like sew them here, because what that is going to cause after it's folded twice and then folded in half again, because it's a straight seam, you're going to have a ton of bulk buildup right there. So in order to reduce some bulk, instead, I piece it together like I would quilt binding strips. I lay one strip of fabric in front of me, pretty side facing up. I take the other one and put it on top of it with the pretty side of the fabric facing down, and I match up the raw edges on the right side and at the bottom. So you're basically creating a backwards L. Now here's a trick. You want to make sure that you're sewing in the right direction. So you're basically going to sew from the top right corner to the bottom left corner where you see that fabric peeking out from the underneath layer. So we're going to stitch a line from here to here, and you can always draw it out first if you want to. That sometimes helps a lot of people to make sure that they're keeping that 45-degree angle. So we'll head to the sewing machine and piece these together. And you can see, after we sew from here to here, this is what's going to happen. It's going to fold back like this, and then you're going to end up with one continuous strip, and the bulk there is spread out along this diagonal line instead of being in a straight line, which doubles and quadruples up the bulk when you sew it together. Now we remove the pin, cut to the right side of that seam allowance about 1/4 inch away, and now we can open our strip so you see the continuous piece that you get. All right, now we got to give it a good press. All right, so I have my long strip here. Now we need to interface it. So I'm going to fuse this to the back of some woven interfacing. And after you have your entire strap interfaced, you're going to go to the two short ends. So one on one side and one on the other. And I'm just going to turn this in 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch. It doesn't really matter, especially if you estimate it a little bit higher for your length. So I'll do that on one side and then on the other. This is just to conceal those raw edges on the ends. Now, let's turn this way. We're going to fold the entire thing in half, lengthwise, and the pretty side of the fabric should be facing down. So like this, and you're going to press it right along that bottom fold to create a center crease. And do that to the entire length of the strip. Once that's done and you have that center crease mark, go ahead and open up the strip, and now bring in each of the long sides in towards that center fold. And at this point, you can use your basting glue, because the straps, the length tends to be kind of long, and it's kind of a little bit cumbersome to have it popping open on you all the time. So what I like to do is just take my basting glue, fold it up a little at a time towards that center fold line, and set that glue right in place.
And again, do the whole thing the entire length of the way, and then I'm going to turn it around and repeat it to this opposite long edge also. Alright, so far it looks like this, and now as you probably imagined, we are going to flip it on itself. Like this. And you can see, first we started off with a 4-inch wide strip. If we folded 1 inch and fold in another, now it only measures 2 inches, okay? And because we're going to fold it one more time, the finished strap is going to measure 1 inch wide. And I do the same thing with the glue here, just to help everything lay flat. It's a little easier. Alright, so here is our strap already fully prepped. Now the last thing we need to do is stitch it up. So we're going to top stitch on both long sides, about 1/8 of an inch in from both of these long sides, the entire length of the way. And now our crossbody strap has been top stitched and completed. We are ready to install it in the next step. Now for this type of an installation, the hardware that you'll need is 2 rings of some kind. I'm using D rings here, and then a slider. Well, if we look at the bag, because it's completed and all it needs is the shoulder or crossbody strap, the 2 D rings are already here, okay? So I can get rid of these extras. You're not going to need 2 additional. All we're going to need now is the slider. So here are my 3 hardware pieces and my strap. Now let me show you how to do it in what steps so that you end up with an adjustable crossbody strap that has a professional finish to it. There's no flaps hanging off of it, and it's not twisted, so you can adjust it up or down however you see fit. So first, you're going to take your slider and grab one of the short ends of your strap, and you're going to feed it up through one hole and down through the other. So here's one, and down in through the other one. Now here, this short strap, you're going to bring it to match itself, the other end of the strap here somewhere. Depending on what you measured out, you may want to keep it really close so you don't lose a lot of the length of your strap. You can come down here a little bit. But basically, I tried to just bring it far enough over so that I can still clear it in my sewing machine to top stitch it without running the risk of hitting the metal here, okay? So we are just going to stitch. You can stitch a few lines, you can zigzag. I'm going to stitch a rectangle with an X inside. And if you are familiar with installing rivets, you may want to go ahead and add one there. That'll be a cute additional decoration, and it will also add more stability to this join right here. Alright, so we've stitched the slider down onto the one end of our strap. Now this part can get a little bit tricky because people kind of lose their orientation, but we have the bag here. We're going to start installing it through these D-rings. Now, in order to do that, I grab it so that the slider is facing me and I see the entire thing instead of having it like this, okay? Make sure that you're looking at the front side where you can see the entire outline of that slider. Now I'm going to follow my fingers back so that I'm keeping the strap flat, no twists on it. And I'm going to bring it to my fingers are flat on the other end. And that's these 2 ends, okay? The idea is that this guy now needs to be fed through the slider as well, and you want it to be oriented correctly. So I'm going to bring this end now from the back or behind this D-ring, and when it comes up, now I install it here. So we're going to come through the bottom and go out through the top of the slider. And when we pull, you should have one continuous motion here. You see how there's no twists in it? If you have a twist in it, just take it off and do it again until you can pull that slider and ensure that you're not going to have any twists right here, okay? So that's basically what's going to make it adjustable. Now, as you can imagine, we're going to work our way, and I'm kind of looping it so I see I don't have any twists. Lay the strap on its side on your table like this. I find that that's kind of the best way, so you know that the strap is nice and flat the entire way. And then we're going to do the same thing to adhere it here. So now, on this one, we just put it through, and here we're going to top stitch again the same way that we did initially when we did this one, okay? So take the whole thing now to your sewing machine, and if you want to, here's a good tip. Put a few clips on it, okay? And then you can play around with the adjustment and see. Is that how you want it to be? Is it oriented correctly so there's not going to be any twists? Okay, so play around with it before you go to your sewing machine and top stitch this guy in place. Again, you can adjust this however far down or far up you want it to be. Just make sure that when you're stitching it into place, you have enough clearance under your presser foot and you're not running the risk of stitching over the metal D-ring.
Well, that was easy, wasn't it? I think now a lot of you out there are going to gain the confidence to try your hand at making some adjustable shoulder straps for your future handbag making projects. Now, to tell you a little bit more about my new video Bag of the Month Club, remember there's going to be 5 different bag designs. One is going to be rolled out every single month on how to make it with the PDF pattern and the video lessons. And then also you'll be able to see all 5 bags. I've given you sneak peeks on 2 of them already, so you'll be able to see all 5 bags before it's time to register for the Bag of the Month Club, and that way you can assess the situation and determine whether or not it's a good enough value for you and if you like all 5 bags so that you can make them in the future, right? Another concern I received a lot of emails and comments about is the materials that go into making these handbags. A lot of you out there are beginners, and so you're a little overwhelmed, right, with the stabilizers, the types of zippers, how long they need to be, the hardware. But don't worry, we are putting together kits that we will be selling every month as each new design comes out that you can purchase that will basically have everything you need in there except for the fabric. So choose your fabric of choice, and then we will provide the different stabilizers and the hardware that you need to successfully complete your project. I think this is going to be a great way for beginners to have it a little bit easier, so you know you have everything you need to make the bag, but also because I want to introduce you to some new products, and once you try them out and use them, you'll then know exactly what types of applications to use them for, and then you're adding to your own skill set, right? Because you'll have ideas of other projects that you can use the different products in. Now, the 5 bag designs that I've created for my Bag of the Month Club have been designed to be pretty simple, but I still want you to push and challenge yourself a little bit more, and I think you're going to be surprised to see the types of things that you'll be able to make with the help of my instruction in my Bag of the Month Club. But I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial and that you will put this project to use. Go ahead and make some adjustable shoulder straps for your different handbag and tote bag projects, and I will see you guys in the next video. In the next one, I'll be sharing with you some more details on my Bag of the Month Club, and I will also share with you another sneak peek of a different bag in the club. Now, thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit it with the thumbs up below, share it across the different social media sites, and don't forget, click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.